about 68 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Out of doors, we're walking around in T-shirts and jeans, so it's pretty warm outside, but the wind in the water does make things look a little bit colder than they are actually, maybe. So I hope that answers a few of your questions. And, Nick, now we can get back to the action in the water and heat number 1 of round 3.
That's right. Boom. Joel Parkinson and Jarrad Howse at this moment in the lineup.
There they are.
Well, one of the tour's former surfers up against one of its most valiant battlers here, both regular foot surfers on the backhand out here at Mundaka. And I think they'll be taking advantage of a quick start here. Looks like there's a little set approaching, and looks like Howse's going to try to pull in and just get absolutely snotted by that very fast peeling wave. Look at that thing rocketing across the sandbar.
How does that look? Not a drop of water out of place, but a tiny bit too fast.
And now lazy old Parko let that one go, and he's going to go the second wave of the set. I don't know if he can make this, but he's going to give it a good go. Pulling in long backside tube here for Joel Parkinson and opening the heat in excellent form here. Joel rocketing down the line, maybe the first surfer to make it from all the way up the back right through the inside section.
Yes, he is.
Oh, man, you wouldn't want to start a heat better than that, and we were saying he was a form surfer just a few minutes ago, and he's just showing that to everybody right now. So, well, you catch me if you can, guys. This is the form you're going to need to win.
Oh.
Blam. Really nice finish. And Parko just chortling at his luck there as he flicks off down the line.
Well, a 9.0 was the wave of the day up to this point from Victor Ribas. Nick Carroll, you think he did a point better on that one or not?
No, I don't know about a 10, but he's going to go higher than 9 on that one. It's a really nice tube out right outside every different kind. And Parko's going, wake up yourself, Elko. Come and get me, man. What are you doing? And yep, the ski's woken up to the job, and they go, what do you want? You want to ride out the back? Are you kidding? What do you think we're doing here?
And here's the replay.
That's right.
Positioning.
Now watch Parko. He judged this wave really nicely. Gained a little bit of speed at the outset of the tube and held his rail up high. Came through it, just cruising through it really casually. And he realised at this point that this wave is his for the taking.
For him. And he goes, okay, I can let loose.
That's right. And he opens up with just a cruisy couple of turns. Nice placement. Make sure he doesn't waste time by catching rails or getting too antsy. Very important on these long looping waves at Mundaka that you don't get too sort of overwhelmed by the situation and start straining and stressing your turns. Instead, you want to just be flowing them through, and then
it looks like even when he goes up to hit the lip, his eyes are still looking down the line.
Yeah, judging the wave very carefully. Remember, it is the first wave of the heat, and Joel won't really be expecting to get a mega score, but at this point, he's made it right around the whole outside section, and at this point I think he realises I'll throw some variety in here, so he pulls a cutback around. So far you've seen on this wave floaters, snaps under the lip, cutbacks and tube rides all in one wave. Parko realising he's doing exactly what the judges ask for these days.
And just staying right in the pocket in the most critical part of the wave. So we're still on this replay. And bam, the best wave of the day.
That's right. He's blitzing down the line on this one, still going hard toward the finish here, realising he's got a chance at a really major score. And in fact, it is a fairly major score. The judges have awarded Parko a 9.97 for that wave, as close as perfect as we've seen at this event so far.
And finishing with a bit of flair there, Mr. Parko, back out in the lineup. So Jarrad Howse waiting patiently for him out the back with priority, but Parko goes, well, you might have priority, kid, but how is that first wave?
How's he just like looking around and going, what did you do? What are you doing that thing, man?
Come on, Joel, I told you to at least give me a chance for the first 10 minutes. No, sorry, mate.
Well, you know, I mean, you got to remember it's not over till it's over, and there will be really good waves coming through over the next 20 minutes or so. You can be guaranteed both these surfers are going to get high-scoring rides in that time.
Well, and when you think about how Jarrad Howse managed to qualify from the QS last year, you know that he can overcome any situation. He had Poncho Sullivan, Sonny Garcia, and Andy Irons in his heat at sunset. In the quarterfinals, he had to make it to the semis to qualify, and he did.
Unbelievable.
So anything is possible when your name is Jarrad Howse, even coming back against current world number 4, Joel Parkinson, who did start off this heat with a bang of 9.97. Right. And here he goes again, Nick Carroll.
Yeah, you know, Parko's position right now is pretty casual, I would reckon. He's just going to go and see if he can get a score and put old Clousey into a what we call a
combo situation.
Combo situation, and also to be very careful. One of the threats to Parko in this heat right now is a misjudgment of priority, causing him to get interference against him. And if he did that at this point, he'd be gutted, mate. So it's important for him, I think, probably to sit a little bit wide. And you can see he's just
exactly what he's doing. I think he's a savvy enough competitor that he won't let Jarrad put him in that situation. But you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
Remember your brother against Damien Hardman at Narrabeen quite a few years ago.
Yeah, that and God, well, if you're going to turn the clock to little Tommy, then we could sit here all day remembering the stupid mistakes he made with priority on the line. we'll avoid that
back in time too far.
Disgusting period in history,
yes.
And
we'll try and keep it all here live and direct from Mundaka, the Billabong Pro 2006.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tom was online watching this. Actually,
I hope he is. If you are, little Tommy. There we go. So we're going to go over to a little piece how Parko missed surfing here last year, as did the rest of the top 45, after the dredging incident. So let's hear from Joel Parkinson.
Oh, that's good. Definitely missed it last year, Take it for granted, It's a pretty special place, and, we had a really good day a few weeks ago, so even more so now, it's more special to me. All we need is swell. I mean, the bank's perfect, and the town, it's as good as ever.
There you go, Parko. Happy to see the bank in full form.
And a quick reference to the Super Session from, about 3 weeks ago now, the first Friday of the waiting period for the Pro France. Actually, huge swell and south winds, which didn't allow us to run heats up in France, so the entire top 45 minus a few made their way down here to Mundaka, and Joel Parkinson and Kelly Slater both saying that they got the best ever backhand barrels of their lives. Apparently Kelly got a 12-second backhand pit, and Parko one that was very close to that one. Two waves that easily could have won the Nixon Tube Time Award.
Undoubtedly, mate.
And I believe the boys do have some footage of that session. We're going to look into that and try and bring you some of the waves from before the waiting period of the Billabong Pro Mundaka and the Super Session, as they're calling it, from early September here.
Well, that's right. And as we go through this round, in fact, we'll be able to hear the different stories from surfers that we've taped in the off days, and they can tell their stories of where they were on the Super Day. Not all of them were out here. Some of them were some of them were doing things they perhaps regretted later.
Hacking their way around 18 holes at the Senyos golf course. Looks like we do have a set up the point.
Man, do we ever?
Rolling out the back.
What we're about to see in the next minute or so is what Mundaka is going to be producing for the next 4 hours, I reckon. A really nice, clean 5-6 wave set. Some solid 4-foot waves in this set, maybe bigger. Approaching the contest zone, and a light offshore wind blowing straight into the barrel. Jarrad Howse holding priority at the moment, and looks like old Jarrad's going to go away.
He's going to have a go on this one.
He's got to go. I mean, the force is conspiring.
Just sit there and wait.
And he pulls in, and he's way too deep, man. If he comes out of that, we'll give him 2 Nixon Tube Time watches. It wasn't to be, and Parko just...
Obviously, Clousey didn't listen to your advice, Nick. It's wave 3 and/or 4 of the set that is the best wave, and Parko
3 or 4 of the set, and Parko was listening, man, because he's sitting out
wave number 3
and very, very relaxed, looking at this wave now. He's wondering if he's a bit deep. I think he's thinking about it, but he's going to go it. I mean, what option does he have? Very deep, Joel, pulling into the tube.
Still in there.
Very deep, man. He comes through there,
and out he comes.
A beautiful tube right there for Joel Parkinson. Definitely got the watch in his back pocket at the moment.
And a sweet-ass backside re-entry to finish it off with flair.
Yep, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen, what you're going to be witnessing over the next few hours. Very deep tube rides, long tube rides, and critical position there from in-form Joel Parkinson.
And we should be having a replay of that one in just a few seconds. As we are now only 7 minutes off of the low tide, things are going to turn around. We're going to get that incoming push. This is a new, supposedly building swell, so that could just be the the little happy hour, the little aperitif, as they say in this part of the world, that starts off a day's worth of filthy, filthy barrel riding.
Well, man, that really got people going up here on the point. Here's the replay. Watch this.
9-7-3.
His judgment here is really acute. It's not insane. It's just acute. He positions himself just right here, Parko, holds the rail up high. The wave peels away. We don't know what he's doing in there right now, but I bet he's just drawn that rail a little bit higher, and you can see he pulled onto the foam ball, and it pushed him through that barrel. And Parko knew he got a big score here. He just comes out. He's not mad enough to start laughing or nothing, but he does go up for just one last quick off the top. He doesn't expect to make this wave any further, and indeed he doesn't need to. A 9.73, biggest total so far in this event.
To go with his 9.97, and two of the top 3 wave scores in the event in this heat. And now we have the water angle. Nick, let's take a look at the replay from Mick's boat.
That's right. Well, he will be able to judge what Parko actually gets done in this tube. Look at his style, man. He's such a big guy, but he fits himself perfectly into the barrel here, right on the foam ball. Gets himself spat through the tube and comes out. Man, he earned every bit of that 9.73 then, and you could have gone higher. I think you could have gone higher on that score.
It doesn't get more deep and critical than that. There's the front angle and the end of the replay. So Jarrad Howse now has a very big hole that he has to climb out of. A 9.97 and a 9.73 from Joel Parkinson. The only wave score better than the 9.73, the 9.8 from Bede Dobage in his round 2 heat against Ace Buchan. So 2 of the top 3 wave scores and the number 1 overall 2 wave total for the man in form on the moment. Joel Parkinson. Nick Carroll, what do you say about that?
Well, I would guess that the surfers who are watching this heat, and guaranteed there's a lot of pro surfers watching this heat, they'll be taking notes, not just on Joel's tube riding abilities and all that stuff, because they know about that, right? But what they haven't been sure of is the rhythm of this swell, and if we could go back in time and show you how those 2 sets panned out, you would have seen Jarrad Howse catching the first wave of the set, not able to make the section, and Parko waiting and catching the 3rd wave of the set and getting barreled and making it all the way down the line. Now, any pro surfer worth his or her salt would be making a judgment call on that and adjusting their tactics for later on today. If it had panned the other way, remember, Jarrad had priority for that second set.
Yep.
If Jarrad had gone, right, I'm waiting for number 3.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't.
Yeah, mate, it might well have been him getting a 9.73. And right now we can see yet another beautiful set approaching Mundaka.
Down the point. And apparently GT is waiting on the cliff with some insight from someone. Let's go over to GT in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, buddy.
I'm standing here with Chris Ward as we look over Chris's shoulder. Here comes a little bit of a set-in. Looks like yellow with the paddle. And, just drop right into the barrel. Chris, it must be tough. Oh, driving through it. Yellow, man. Jarrad Howse, Klaus as they call him, has got to be stoked. And looks like it's going to blow past him. And Joe Parkinson standing up on his board. And there's still more waves coming, it looks like. It must be tough as you come in after kind of a slow heat. And just right from the dinger, this one's just had waves the whole way through.
Well, that's how this place is, look at it. It's just going off right now. I mean, the sandbar will be too low, and then all of a sudden, 10 minutes later, a set will come in, and that'll be those will be the waves of the day.
And here goes Joel Parkinson right here. Pulls right in. He's going to be too deep on that one, even for Joel.
He's coming.
Oh, my God, he's just poking through. He's still going. He
just fell right there.
He got kind of caught right in that kind of rip zone, and you had one particular one in your heat. The 733 was the keeper, but you did have that one kind of long driving one that right when it hit that sandbar, it kind of, and the rip current kind of doubled you up.
Yeah, in the beginning, Hedgie had priority. I wasn't sure if he was going or trying to keep me off of it, but I think he might have been too deep. We were actually both too deep. And there's a couple of ripples in the face, and I kind of caught myself on a bump inside the tube, and I was kind of kicking myself because I thought it was going to be a good one, and it was probably too chunky in that heat, but right now it's just flawless. I've seen some of the best waves I've seen in Mundaka ever, like in this next heat, right when I go in.
Of course, right? Now, when you're going out into the lineup, you're sitting currently 27th in the rankings. They take the top 28. There we go. Parko up again. Let's see if I can peek around here. Parko getting another bell, comes to the foamy section, banks it off the top. Parko already holding 2 9s, and then right behind him, Jarrad Howse grabs well. He's pig dogging through this section. Let's see if we can't get around. Is he going to poke it? No. Okay, Wardo. Coming into that heat, though, you're sitting 27th, just one up on the cut. Nathan Hedge sitting 33rd. I mean, that's a money heat. Do you is that something you even think about before you go out?
It's not really on my mind. That's all a distraction, I think, for everyone. So I guess I'd leave that to you guys and worry about. But yeah, it's not really on my mind. I mean, all that crap is just a distraction. So I just go out there and surf and know what I need to do and just go out there and have fun and try to get the best waves.
All right, well, fun it is. Wardo moved on. He got some good waves in Hosgway, he's told me off camera yesterday, too. So he's looking loose. And Chris, congratulations. We'll throw it back to Mailman and Nick Carroll for the replays of that. I might have to run in the tower and watch a couple of those.
Well, thank you very much, GT. And yes, you should get up here to the tower and watch a few of the replays because, oh my goodness, Nick Carroll, how good is Mundaka right now?
Yeah, the tide's hit its turn, and it's bringing waves right onto the sandbar here.
Jarrad on low tide right now as we speak.
Now Jarrad Howse is alone in the lineup, but Joel Parkinson got a ski out after getting his last ride. And Jarrad has wave priority right now. He's just sitting out there by himself.
Hoping for 2 10-point rides.
Hoping for a couple of 10-point rides.
Kelly did it, why not Clousey, right? And here's the replay of Joel's absolute drainer.
Oh, man. This wave was ridiculous.
Here we go.
Look at this. His judgment, once again, really nice and draws high. Can he make this wave? He's virtually on the foam ball there. Pulling through it. Look how deep, look how close the guy came to making that wave. If he'd come through that, yeah, there would have been.
He would have had it. Oh, and finished it off.
A bit of body surfing there from Parko. But look, the wave just held and kept going. And if he'd run out on that one, it would have been just insane. Yeah, there would have been several Nixon Tube Time watches handed over to him.
Not a drop of water out of place until it hit that inside froth section. But even then, Parko could have made it out of that one. Well, looks like all of you are having as much fun watching this from home as we are commentating it from here. Yes, you're right, Wade. He is a freak. And to Taylor, Parko is absolutely ripping. Well, James, he is human, but acting superhuman out in the lineup today.
Yep.
Jarrad Howse just doesn't know what to do with himself.
That's right. And look at that. Pablo here has sent us a message saying, yeah, look at what's setting up Parko. He has time to pump down the line, and he sets his line, and that's totally true. You know, with no pump here, there's no exit, not unless it's really big, and you can cruise along the base of the wave inside the barrel. The way it is today, Parko's gaining an advantage just with a quick heel shift, a quick drive of that inside rail, sets it up. He's then able to run downhill a little bit, reset it into the tube, and then just draw a dead straight line through the end. And that's going to be the key for a natural foot surfer here. A regular foot surfer is going to need to do that every time.
Well, and Parko putting a bit of pressure on the goofy footers as well with that backside tube riding, Nick. I mean, absolutely incredible. I don't know. We didn't get the Nixon Tube Time stopwatch up on screen, but you got to think that he's definitely in the running.
Yeah, it'd be a
either of his 3 barrels today.
It'd be a travesty if Parko wasn't in the lead for the fabulous Nixon Tube Time. And waves another set approaching Mundaka right now. Parko this time choosing the first wave. It wedges. He pulls in really deep. I don't think he's going to come out of that one.
Well, if he does, it'll be a 10.
Even the magician's not going to pull that one off. But now look at what's happened here. The advantage has shifted to Jarrad Howse, and here goes Howse pulling in on a very long. And he slips up. Critical mistake there by Jarrad Howse is going to take him out of the lineup for the 3rd wave of this heat. And looks like Parko might paddle himself into position for this one.
No doubt. Here he goes, Nick.
Boom, down and trimmed sideways there. The barrel not quite as fast that time, but Joel holding himself in the barrel.
Still in there.
Judges it beautifully, and look at this wave just continuing to peel down the line, and he accelerates out and wide. and goes up for a big floater down into the rip section.
What's he going to have to do to get a 10, Nick?
Well, I think he just did it. I'd be surprised if the judges didn't cough up the big 1-0 on that one. Really spectacular effort there from Joel Parkinson, and fortunate once again to be able to snatch the best wave of that set.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, being in rhythm with the elements is key to winning heats out here. Oh, and speaking of not being in rhythm, Jarrad Howse snapped his board
he hasn't,
on that
has he?
last one. Yes, he has.
Oh, the poor bloke. Jarrad, that's such tough luck, and I guess that means
That's
that
his second board snap to the event, Nick.
second board snap of the event, and now Parko just, I guess he's going to have free reign of the event for a few minutes by himself.
Yeah, not sure. Yeah, we got 9 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. Parko on the back of the ski with Uncle Elks, and we can't really tell if he's going in, or we know that Howsey's going to go pick up a brand new surfboard.
Yeah, he's going to have to rush out there. I mean, why would you pass up the opportunity
And
for a
what
start?
has Gary done? Well, the tide's so low that they actually have to go into the harbor entrance to get around the sandbar and back out the back here. So
Crazy stuff here at Mundaka.
super lip. And a 9.4.
Wow, the judges straining at the bit here, just avoiding that 10 with all the powers at their disposal. Isn't that amazing? That wave, look at this wave. This isn't even in Parko's top two. Trimmed and held himself right back inside the barrel and stayed there for a long, long time here, Parko. He knew he was in the right rhythm with this wave. The idea being to just stay and trim. Don't get out of hand and run clear and wide. He kept ducking and weaving in there, pulling his head in so it didn't get clipped by the lip. And then you'd think, well, this is over, but it's not over. There's another little section ahead of him, pulls up into that one, and comes out, and I think, no, he's just off that now, just trims wide, heads down the line.
I'll just let loose now.
Comes clean with a bit of a big floater down here as he comes into the rip section, which is, you can see it's moved right down that rip,
to the end
right down and out of consideration now as far as the lineup's concerned. A really nice controlled floater there from Parko. And you can see he's just like grooving on this now, and in some ways perhaps like
just kind of having a free surf, I guess.
Trying to relax and have a free surf rather than think too much about the judgment calls, because, you know, in real terms, Parko's got this heat tied up right now.
Yeah. And 3 of the top 5 or 6 wave scores of the event in one heat. Hope he hasn't blown his wad right here, Nick. Don't think so, though.
Yeah, you know, you got to do what the ocean tells you, you know, and Mundaka's on strong right now.
Yeah,
you got to go with it.
Wave that's put on the show, as well as Parko.
Yeah, Parko's judging it beautifully, as befits an informed surfer, but, you know, it's also the waves saying, come on, you know, I want to be barrel ridden. I want you to ride deep.
Back to the replay. Mundaka opening her arms for Joel Parkinson.
That's right, stalling and holding himself in there all the way down the line and getting a little bit of extra tube time down here, which really shocked everybody, I think. The wave would reform like that and give him an extra tube at the end. And bam, Mundaka up and riding right now.
And if that one didn't go into his top 2 wave scores, it's probably because he was keeping his speed up and just out in front of the foam ball instead of actually doing a little butt stall and riding the foam ball all the way to the bank and into round 4.
Well, that's right. I think, you know, the judges showed their discretionary abilities there. They judged Joel's deeper, faster, more critical tubes as being worth higher points than the ones where he's just kind of getting a butt drag and a good look at the barrel, you know.
So I guess we just got a little carried away with ourselves.
Yeah, we were frothing. We apologise, ladies and gentlemen, if we occasionally
what
froth
can
today.
you do?
Yeah,
and apparently everyone frothing out there in internet land as the server's starting to overload. Some of your messages being sent back. There they are, Joel Parkinson, Jarrad Howse. Jarrad Howse behind the 8 ball with a 6.67 and a 1.6, needing a combination of 2 wave scores for 19.71, Nick. You don't see that one on the board very often.
No, you certainly don't. That's what we're seeing today here at the Billabong Pro Mundaka 2006.
Look at the smile on Parko's face. He just can't help himself. Just keeps looking over at Jarrad, going, "Hey, mate,
hey, mate,
you see those?" Absolutely incredible. And a little lull in the action out the back. The boys just kind of sitting there, so we will go over to the emails. Steve wants to know, how long is it likely to stay this good before the tide ruins it? Well, yesterday, how many heats did we get through? 6 or 7?
Yeah, I would reckon, Steve, we've probably got 6 heats up our sleeves. The swell is, bound to hang and maybe build a bit. And if it does that with the tide as it turns, and the tide hasn't quite turned yet, it is going to be turning and pulling whatever swell is in the ocean into this bay. It might well come up a little bit bigger, and if that happens, then we'll have a solid 6 or 8 heats to go.
And Sean would like to know, what features does Parko have that makes him such a good barrel rider?
Okay, well, he's very rubbery for a start. Parko's able to compress himself into all sorts of weird shapes in the barrel. I guess that probably goes back to his early days surfing the Sunshine Coast and Gold Coast tube heavens of places like Kira and so forth. People give Parko a bit of a roasting for his backside surfing, but I've always thought it was pretty damn good myself, and he's kind of proving it in this heat.
Better and better, at least his backside tube riding, but I'd like to be able to do turns on my backhand like he did on that last one.
For sure. And, so I just think it's probably got a lot to do with body type, the ability to compress yourself like that and still retain control over the board, and also just practice, man. Do not ever underestimate the amount of practice that goes on in a professional surfer's career build-up,
And practice makes perfect, and plenty of you shouting out for replays of Parko's waves. Here's a look at his first, Nick.
Let's see how he kicked it off here. Joel Parkinson.
This is 997.
This is where Mundaka opened up and said, "Okay, come get me, baby." And Joel instantly got the message and pulled in very deep on this wave. You can see he gets deeper and deeper and deeper in the tube as it runs, rides up right onto the foam board. The thing spits him out through the middle of that section, and then he rides it out and gets clear. And a brilliant piece of tube riding and a brilliant wave to do it onto. The outside section at Mundaka on a set right now is just, one of our little miracles.
That was the longest, deepest tube of the day. Not quite sure how many seconds, but we'll be getting that information to you as soon as possible. That the leading barrel in the Nixon Tube Time Award category. And still, 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this one. Jarrad Howse needing a combo of 19.71. We know that's not going to happen. So Parko moving into round 4. Jarrad Howse, another 17th place finish. Not his worst of the year, but he would have hoped for better in this one. Nick Carroll, 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go. And this one all about Joel Parkinson.
Oh, yeah. In control, Joel, right now.
And coming up will be Bruce Irons and somebody else. If you guys could click on your results button and let us know who Bruce is going to be surfing against. We can't get an updated heat sheet here in the office. Everyone's just too frothing. Parko. Oh, and Dino Andino, thank you very much, Dino, with the updated heat sheet. So coming up in heat number 2, Bruce Irons against Luke Stedman. And we saw Stedman get some smokers during the free surf this morning. So we'll see if he can keep that up against Bruce Irons. What do you reckon about that one coming up, Nick?
Oh, look, you know what? There's a great slate of heats coming up now. They've been clarified via the seeding system out of round 2. Coming up, Bruce Irons versus Luke Stedman. Heat number 3, CJ Hobgood versus Victor Ribas.
That's
Battle of the Goofies. Heat 4, Battle of the Regular Foots. Mick Fanning versus Toby Martin.
Toby Martin, once again, who knocked out the mayor of Mundaka, Mr. Mark Akalupo. So
kaboom. Heat number 5, Timmy Reyes versus Pancho Sullivan.
That is to see that one.
That is a scorcher in the making, that one. Both surfers, brilliant competitors and brilliant surfers. Heat number 6, Tom Whitaker versus Chris Ward.
And that could very possibly be about as far as we get today. And as we count down in this one, Nick, we're going to go over to a few words from Joel Parkinson about the super session from Famous Friday. Let's hear from Parko.
It was probably some of the best waves I've ever seen. I mean, I've probably seen cure like that when I was a kid, reversed, as a right-hander, but I've never seen a left like that, on sand. Choker and cloud back and stuff like that are probably some of the best lefts in the world, but I think on sand it was the best waves I've ever seen.
the best waves he's ever seen, and we will be bringing you some video from that session sometime later on in the week. And go on, I know on surfline.com as well as many of the other surfing websites, there is footage already online, apparently on YouTube as well. So for you netizens out there, go surf the web and you will find footage from the super session that Joel was speaking about out there on the